Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and welcome to the 46th episode of my second 1 billion iron ingot challenge. In today's episode, I am going to set up my final 2 fusion reactors at my fusion base, and I am here right now. The first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to place down the actual fusion cores, and I had them placed down at one point, but I actually picked them up, and that's because they were drawing or sapping power from the other fusion reactors. So yeah, I didn't want that to happen. So as you can see, it is pulling power, and it does recognize its electromagnets already, so that's also a good sign there. So let's go ahead and place this one down as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do today to actually fuel these reactors is I'm going to use something that I haven't used before, and that would be lithium. Specifically, I'm going to use lithium 6 in one reactor and lithium 7 in the other reactor. Now, if we take a look at fusion reactors and we right-click on the fusion core here, there are several recipes that I could use, but I think what I'm going to go ahead and use today is I'm going to use hydrogen with lithium 6, and let me double check that I have that correct. Yes, I do. And it produces a good amount of power, 64,000 RF per tick, versus say hydrogen, which makes 44,000 RF per tick. So this is a good fuel combination, and if you'll notice, the molten lithium, it only requires 144 millibuckets per operation, versus for the gas fuels like hydrogen, deuterium, tritium, helium-3, etc. Actually, I think that might be all of the gas fuels, but anyways, the gas fuels, it takes 1,000 millibuckets. So the liquid fuels like lithium and the borons are 144 millibuckets. So that'll be nice to deal with. So basically what I need to do, actually I should go over the other fuel. I'm going to be using deuterium with the lithium 7, and that is actually a really good fuel combination. Once again, the lithium 7, since it is a liquid rather than a gas, it only requires 144 millibuckets of it per operation, and this fuel combination lasts 25 seconds, producing 120,000 RF per tick at its base amount. So that is actually a long time with a high amount of energy output. For comparison's sake, the let's find deuterium and tritium. This produces 160,000 RF per tick, but it only lasts for 8 seconds. So yeah, it's a really good fuel combination. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my lithium 6 and lithium 7 to be right here, but I'm actually going to separate them out underneath. So up here, I'm going to have 2 black hole units. So let's grab some of the stuff I will need, or hopefully all of it. So first off, 2 black hole tanks, and these will be to house the lithium 6 and lithium 7. I will need a couple of filters here, so let's grab a couple of fluid filters. I will need some conduit for the fluids, interfluid conduit that is, so let's grab some of that. That's probably more than I need. I will need a centrifuge, which is an RF, or not RF tools, but a NuclearCraft machine that I have not made on camera yet. It's very similar to some of the other NuclearCraft machines. It requires some electric motors, machine chassis, advanced plating, and servo mechanism. It's very similar to some of the other machines I've made. So I already have automated this, so let's go ahead and request one of those. I will also need a melter from NuclearCraft, so let's grab a melter. And let's see, is there anything else? I don't really think so. So now I just have to wait on the NuclearCraft machines to craft up. Okay, that's clearly not going to work, so let's... Okay, what are we waiting on? Okay, so that's cool. There is the centrifuge, and then we have the melter. And where is the melt? There it is. Okay, so what else do I need? I need an export bus. And I need the solid export bus because I will be exporting lithium ingots into the melter, which will melt it down into lithium, the molten lithium. And then the centrifuge will separate out the 2 different isotopes of lithium. So I'm actually going to build this kind of in reverse. And let's see here. I actually have this going. So let's get this. So The last step obviously will be the black hole tanks, and actually I will probably need to get rid of that as well. So let's actually go ahead and put those in. Black hole tanks will go there, and actually shoot, I need to dip this down real fast because I don't accidentally want something random going into these tanks yet. So okay, so the last step here will be the centrifuge. Like I said, I'm going to build this in reverse. So actually, let's grab some RTGs. And a couple of them, one for each machine. And then I want to also grab some upgrades because I may want to speed these things up and make them a little bit more energy efficient. So let's grab these upgrades so I can do that. And then the centrifuge will go here. So let's go ahead and put an RTG back here. Put the centrifuge here. And then we can plop down the ender fluid conduit. And this will be insert. And let's go ahead and throw a filter in. This will be the lithium 6. And okay, molten lithium 6. Fantastic. And that is insert. No extract. So that's cool. So this will also be insert. This will be the lithium 7. So let's see here. Molten lithium 7. Boom. Cool. So, okay, so down here, I need to, actually, it'll be easiest if I kind of do it maybe over here. Actually, I could have these two share this RTG. And I don't, you know what, yeah, let's do that. So essentially I have 200 RF per tick to play with each machine if I do it this way. So let's go ahead and set up the export bus if I can. This will be 2 acceleration or 4 acceleration cards with the lithium ingot. So let's throw in the lithium ingot and this will mount down. I'm not sure exactly how fast, but we can just, okay, actually I need to quickly get rid of that connection because we need this to be extract always on into the centrifuge. Okay, so I also need some orange cable. Whoops. Sorry, that's usually where this is. So that's why I did that. So I need one lonely orange covered cable. And then I can plop that in there. And pretty soon I should be getting some lithium in here. Okay, so let's configure this thing because we definitely need to speed this up. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so that's still too much. Okay, so that'll be 200 RF per tick. So 8 and 64 might be the ticket. So let's try that on this machine. This machine may use more or less power. I'm not really sure. So it looks like this machine uses less power, which is actually kind of surprising, but whatever. Okay, so did I not? I didn't set this up. That's why. Okay, so let's see if this is It looks like it's working right now. Let me check the lithium melting recipe because I think I get more of one than the other. So if I right click on the lithium melting recipe, yes, I get a lot more of the lithium 7 than I do of the lithium 6. Let me see if that's going to be a problem here. Actually, I can just right click on this lithium 6. Go to the fusion reactor. Okay, so I will be using this recipe. This lasts for 63 seconds. Actually, that's fantastic. That is fantastic efficiency as far as the molten lithium goes because it still produces a really good amount of power at 64,000 RF per tick, but the fuel lasts for 63 seconds, each 144 millibuckets. So that's actually really fantastic efficiency. Okay, so now that I have the lithium in here, I can go ahead and set these to be configured to what is already in there by clicking this button right here. Let's go ahead and set the priority also to +1000 because that's what I have the priority of the other buses at. And I think what I'm going to do right now is I am going to clean up this right here. I'm going to grab some stone and clean that up. And I'm going to do that off camera. And once I have that done, I will be right back. Okay, I have everything cleaned up now, and the next thing I need to do is I need to grab a bucket of each of these. That way I can set my export buses upstairs. So let's grab a bucket of each, and there we go. And then I also want to grab some buckets of hydrogen and deuterium. So let me double check my fuel combinations here. I'm going to be using the hydrogen with lithium-6, so let's sort that out right here, and then we can do the deuterium with the lithium-7. That way I kind of remember which fuel goes with which. So the reactors upstairs should be ready to go by now, as in heat-wise. So let's double check them. Yes, they are, or at least that one is, and this one is as well. One thing I should mention is actually there's a few things here. First off, I have not been running my tritium deuterium reactor very often, and that's because I'm not really producing enough tritium. Let's go ahead and turn that on for right now, because actually one of these fuel combinations, and I can't remember which, actually produces some tritium. So that'll be nice to have, and maybe I will be able to run this reactor all of the time now. So let's take a look. The hydrogen lithium-6 produces tritium. It does. So actually it produces a good amount of tritium as well. Other than the fact that it burns so slowly, as in the base combo lifetime is 63 seconds, it won't produce that much tritium. But yeah, it does produce a decent amount of tritium. And let me double check on the other fuel combination as well. Deuterium and lithium-7. So the helium is kind of a throwaway product at this point, but the neutron fluid might be nice to use in the future. Maybe, probably not, but maybe. So let's go ahead and set up the export buses and get those going. So I have access to these guys right here. So let's do the deuterium right here, and then the lithium over here. And there we go. That one is started. So one more thing, let's go ahead and do this one. So this one will be the lithium-6 with the hydrogen. And I've just realized that this is like really dark right here. So let's actually fix that before I leave. I think I had something like that. Yeah, something like that. It's because I enlarged my capacitors and I didn't replace those torches. But anyways, you know what? Let's go ahead and put torches here as well. Whatever. It's good. So let's check out exactly how these guys are doing. So as I kind of expected, it's not really producing any real amount of power yet. At least that one's not even producing anything quite yet. This one is not really producing anything yet either. We should be building up our lithium supply at this point. Because especially this reactor, it burns the lithium-6 so slow that even though I'm producing it pretty slowly, I should still see a net positive here. Oh, and one more thing. I haven't set up the extraction systems for these guys yet, so I need to do that. So I just need to grab a couple of tanks. Fluid tanks are fine. I need to grab some import buses. And I have found that the system I am using for the other reactors, it is working perfectly great. So that is obviously nice to hear. And let's also grab some covered cable because I might need some of that. And then some of the fluid conduit. And I should only need 2 of that. And am I using speed upgrades on these? And okay, so this is the facade. I am using speed upgrades. I kind of thought it was. So let's get some speed upgrades as well. So I should just need 30 of them. And is it the... Oh shoot, I don't know why I put a capacitor bank there, because I do need some access to this. Okay, so that should still be fine. It should still have enough capacity. So I want the tank to be right here. I need the fluid conduit to be here. It needs to be extract always on with as many speed upgrades as I can. Insert. And then the fluid import bus right here with speed upgrades. And then over here, I assume I probably did the exact same thing. Yep. Oh well. because it can be fixed. And then tank there, import bus with acceleration cards, fluid conduit, extract always on with the speed upgrades, and then insert. Okay, so it's just waiting for these import buses to activate, I believe. So let's get rid of those capacitors. We don't need those. And let's also grab a couple facades and facade that up. At some point I need to put some cable facades on these guys, but actually, you know what, let's go ahead and do that as well. And I can't actually do those ones yet. Unfortunately, unlike covers, I can't place this facade here without breaking that cable. But whatever. Figure I might as well do it while I'm here. So I think what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to wait, and I'm going to let these reactors run just a little while. And once they start making some sort of power, because this one's still not producing any power, and it's not super hot right now, but it is heating up, and it is producing 0 RF per tick. I promise it will produce a decent amount of power at some point. So I don't actually, this is weird. I don't know why this is showing up in yellow. Oh, it's because it's not running. Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna let these guys run for a little while, and hopefully at some point they'll actually start producing some energy. Oh, this one is at 17 RF per tick. Is this one producing anything yet? Oh, it's a 10 RF per tick. I was looking at the power line rather than the energy line. So right now we're producing 11 RF per tick with this thing. So like I said, I'm gonna let these run a little while, and yeah, I will be back in a little bit to see how they are doing. And I am back, and I have allowed these two fusion reactors to run for several hours. And so let's see how they're doing. So this one right here looks like it is producing 338,000 roughly RF per tick, and that's what we see in the GUI here. So yeah, it's not up to full efficiency yet, but it's really close. With the cooling system that I am implementing in these 4 reactors up here, I'm actually only ever going to see 96% efficiency, and we can actually see this by checking out the deuterium tritium reactor right here. As we see, the temperature change has completely evened out. We are at 0 Kelvin per tick, and that's because my cooling rate is a little bit higher than the 100%. As you can see, it's at 128%. So the efficiency of these reactors will only ever reach 96%, but that's still pretty fantastic, to be honest. So this one right here is producing 338,000 RF per tick. It'll probably get up to close to 350,000 RF per tick. I'm not exactly sure. And that is the deuterium lithium 7 reactor. This reactor over here, the hydrogen lithium 6 reactor, is at 93% efficiency currently, and just about 280,000 RF per tick, which is fantastic in and of itself. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good wrapping up point for this episode. So in today's episode, I set up these 2 fusion reactors right here, and those 2 provide me something like 5,000 additional RF per tick, which is pretty fantastic. Altogether, my fusion base now can produce, I think, over 2 million RF per tick. Currently, this capacitor is actually backed up and full, so I'm not seeing the complete capacity of it, but anyways, it's a lot of power. And I also set up a system to make a liquid lithium and separate it into its 2 different isotopes, lithium 6 and lithium 7. As of right now, I have 254 million iron ingots, which is just over a fourth of the way to my total goal of 1 billion. Currently, I'm getting something between, I want to say, like 18 and 20 million iron ingots per day, which is a fantastic rate, and I think that may even be the highest rate I've ever had. So anyways, if you enjoyed today's episode, definitely give it a like. If you enjoy watching automation in modded Minecraft, definitely consider subscribing to my channel, because that's pretty much what I do. Anyways, signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.